Make sure you subscribe to Willard and Dibs on the free Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Subscribe to all the shows. Also, great place to go find interviews and specific conversations if you missed them. And then we'll talk later about why you missed them because that's not acceptable. So there's that. Mic on.
Yeah. I don't call you out when you go mic off, but I'll remember that next time.
But you can. You can.
But I don't.
But you can.
Kyle Shanahan can call out his defensive coordinator, but should he? No.
Debatable.
And nor should you call me out. But you're going to do that? You're going to do that to me?
Actually, you know what I could do? I could do it, and then I'll come back the next day and moonwalk just like this.
Well, there was a time issue why we couldn't make that call, and that's without a doubt on me. I'm the one who can stop that, and that's why I hold the ultimate responsibility on everything. But when I was asked 2 days ago about the call, he knows we can't make that off of time, and I messed up not calling a timeout, so we couldn't call it. But I had no problem with the call in terms of what we do. I love all blitzing. It's just not something you can do at that time.
That is a hell of a moonwalk.
It's more of a moon limp.
All right. How about that? It is without a doubt on me.
Right. On Friday. So you get to Friday and you realize, and I know that Kyle listens to our show and stuff. And
hi, Kyle.
Yeah.
It's a whoopsie daisy. He got hot. He answered it the wrong way. It ended up on Steve Wilks' lap. And
I wonder.
This is his way of apologizing.
How many times, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Kyle's been coaching now. This is his 7th year.
Yep.
How many times has he called timeout as a head coach when his team is on defense because he didn't like a call?
I don't know.
I would put the over-under at a half a time.
Oh, you think?
That he didn't like the call? Now, he might...
Oh, I disagree with that.
When Kyle Shanahan calls timeout...
I bet that's happened.
Because maybe he realizes there's 10 men on the field.
You don't, or whatever. Like, you don't like the call. You don't like the alignment. Oh, crap. Hold on. This is not good. Time out. You see it all the time.
Not from Kyle Shanahan. You see it from other head coaches, defensive-minded head coaches certainly, but when I see the defense on the field, Kyle Shanahan is usually nose deep in the laminated play sheet.
I saw Sean McVay do it earlier this year.
That's Sean McVay.
Flying down, the offensive-minded head coach went flying down the sideline. You got to go get the ref right in his face. Time out. And Sean is good at getting up and down the sideline.
Right.
Sometimes he goes all the way to the end zone and scores a touchdown.
I'm wondering how many times Kyle Shanahan has called timeout on defense.
I don't know.
Because he doesn't like the call. And if you're in that spot and you're locked in and you hear that call come in, and if you're that offended by the call, then you call timeout.
Yeah.
But you didn't call timeout, and the play happened, and it took you until, checks notes, Friday to come out and actually throw yourself on the sword after on Monday night post-game, didn't like the call. Tuesday, had a night to sleep on it, really didn't like the call. And then you get to Friday, well, actually, guys, after further review, that's on me. On Friday, Kyle, I'm not buying it.
He had to clear the self-critical protocol.
Gotcha.
And it took 4 days. And he has cleared all of the hurdles, and he is now able to point finger at self.
Right. Yeah, because it's been now 4 days. So
Listen.
You're not buying it either. And I know you can't say that, but
of course I can say that. What do you mean by not buying it? Here's how I would translate.
I'm not buying that he really feels like it's his fault. I'm not buying that. This feels to me like damage control.
Yes.
After 2 days of people questioning his leadership. And now he gets to a Friday spot where it's like, geez, I need this guy. And you know what? I am the head coach, and it all does fall on me. I need to fall on the sword on Friday.
I think whether or not it's genuine is always an evolving question whenever coaches are supposedly letting us inside their sideline or their heads with regard to what's going on the field. Those people are screaming at each other all the time. Remember when Nick Saban went after Lane Kiffin? Remember that? Like, undressed that bro.
Yeah.
Right there on the sideline. So it happens, and I'm with you. I think Kyle Shanahan, in his heart of hearts, is still like, Steve, what the bleep were you doing? Absolutely. But what I also think is Kyle got 24 hours of hearing how his words got processed in the world and went, that came out a little hot. And so, yeah, we got to go back the other way. And so now I'm going to say, without a doubt, this is on me because you said this right away when he did it. You were like, who does this serve? Who does it help?
Right.
That you just threw Steve Wilks out there. And it's a fair and good question because I don't know. It's why I answered it by going, like, it makes my mind think that y'all are strangling each other in the locker room.
Right.
Because if you're here doing this in front of a microphone, how bad is it where we can't see you and hear you? That's where my mind went. And maybe that's not what's actually happening. Whatever it is, it's another moment. And I think we all go through these where you say something and then you get away from it and you hear the way it's being processed and you're like, crap, that's not the way I wanted that to go.
Yeah. I've had a few of those on this very show.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do. And so, again, I'm with you. I think that Kyle still is like, Steve, don't do that. But he's also like, it's not helping us for the whole nation of 49er coverers and fans. It is not helping us right now to have everybody clowning on Steve Wilks all week long. That's not helping.
The majority of Niner fans wouldn't know Steve Wilks from Jamal Wilks.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Well, in terms of like, Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator, sure, we know Steve Wilks, but like how impactful is he and all the rest of it? And again, the zero blitz call, if Charvarius Ward gets a hand in there and breaks that pass up, none of this ever happens. Nobody ever questions outside of Ted Wen of The Athletic, who breaks things down from an all-22 standpoint. 95% of Niner fans wouldn't have even noticed that they went with a zero blitz if that pass would have gotten broken up. But it didn't. And Minnesota scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan, hopefully this for him, young Kyle, I hope this is a teaching moment. And I know you're out there listening.
It is.
On your drive home.
He already knows.
Well, he knows on Friday, but the real teaching moment is when you get to the microphone post-game and you get asked about it, you fall on the sword there, then and there. You say, you know what? We as a staff have to be better. I'm the final gatekeeper, and I heard the call go in, and you know what? I should have called timeout. We had 2 timeouts. I didn't like the call. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. That's on me, everybody. Steve does a great job of making these calls, and our defense is top 5, and you know what? Our defense played a hell of a game. And Steve had a hell of a game.
Oh, man,
Steve called a hell of a game, Mark.
Going too far.
He called a hell of a game, Mark.
Your defense was crap in that game.
They were not crap.
They were crap.
Did Minnesota put up 50 on you?
Did
They gave you 22 points.
Did Minnesota ever get off the field on 3rd down?
I'll tell you what, Mark,
that's a game flow
let's
thing.
go to Mark in the back.
The whole 22-point thing.
Steve called himself a hell of a game.
No, he didn't.
And you know what? Our defense played a hell of a game for 60 minutes out there. We fought hard, and we played a tough football game. And you know what? That's on me, Mark. That's on me. I'm the final gatekeeper.
Right here in the back.
Can you imagine how much...
I'm the final gatekeeper, and you know what? Damn it, I got to be better.
Can you imagine how much we would rip Kyle if he actually did press conferences that way? Oh, we had that was a great defensive performance. No, it wasn't.
Dude, we just missed.
You were awful.
I should have remembered this 2 days ago, but it's been a very busy week. It was the 15-year anniversary of Mike Singletary.
Yeah. He wants winners.
I wanted to play that whole rant because that's kind of what I'm talking about with Kyle Shanahan. And I'm thankful that Kyle does not carry on the way. And that was Singletary's first ever game.
I love carrying on press conferences. They live forever. Jim Mora,
I know,
Denny
but
Green.
I actually do want winners, and Kyle is developing winners. So I'm pro Kyle. All I'm saying is that this should be a teaching moment for Kyle, and he should have handled it like an old ball coach. You know what? That's on me. I'm the final gatekeeper, and you know what? I'm the one who's got to make these calls, and I should have made that call, and I should have called timeout. That's on me.
That would be a total eye roll, but so is this. Why don't we timeline it? Listen to the change.
Are we doing timeline?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he knows. You guys, I think, talk to him tomorrow. He knows he messed up on that call. I have no problem with zero blitzes, especially when people need a lot of yards. If you need to get 20 yards to kick a field goal, I have no problem with the zero blitz. but I do when there's 16 seconds left. And that's where he lost track. There was no necessary need for that just because of the time. I have no problem with the call. But I mean, I have no problem with that play call, but when it's that time, you can't do that. It's not an option.
Thursday.
I got to be honest with you. By the time I talk to you guys, win or lose, mentally, I'm on to the next game. I know there's a lot of questions about the call right before the half, so I definitely want to address that before I move on to Cincinnati. Take full responsibility for that call. I have to do a better job in putting the guys in a better position. We have good players. I know that, and can't really press the issue. And with that, moving forward, it's my responsibility to do that. So, wish I could take it back, but again, I gotta do better.
And Friday.
Well, there was a time issue why we couldn't make that call, and that's without a doubt on me. I'm the one who can stop that, and that's why I hold the ultimate responsibility on everything. But when I was asked 2 days ago about the call, he knows we can't make that off of time, and I messed up not calling a timeout, so we couldn't call it. But I had no problem with the call in terms of what we do. I love all-out blitzing. It's just not something you can do at that time.
I love all-out blitzing.
I love it.
Even though it's something that we never do and stuff. And Bobby Saleh never did it, and D'Amico actually never did it. And, I actually like all-out blitzes and stuff when actually all 7 guys rush the quarterback. But in this case and stuff, we had 4 guys rush and 3 guys kind of just chilling. Like it was, I don't know if you've seen the movie Clerks, and they're hanging out at the gas and sip.
Of course.
But, I mean, Talanoa Hufanga was kind of like Silent Bob and stuff.
Whoa, Chewbacca! What a Wookiee!
It's a little callback for you.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
Somebody talked to somebody.
Yes.
You can hear it.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And that's fine.
And there's also a Tuesday piece in there, which sounds a lot like the Wednesday. Or it might have been the Monday piece.
No, Tuesday they don't talk, right?
Monday in the post game. He said exactly what he did on Wednesday.
Well,
basically.
He said we're going to talk. That's something we'll discuss this week. I didn't like the result.
Right.
Is what he said on Monday night.
Right. And I like that he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, I'm the ultimate decider of everything. And
Sepp Blatter, World Cup. Let's go.
Seriously.
I'm the president of everything.
I'm him. Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, my God.
Is his new nickname. Yeah, he's Kyle Shanahan. But he's right. And I'm glad he got to that point. And now I hope going forward, he gets to a spot where he feels like he can call timeout when he hears the call come in that he doesn't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he didn't.
This turned into a PR thing.
No doubt.
Yeah, but I'm with you that look, is it all on Kyle? Is it all on Steve? Nothing is all on anybody. You're a team. But in the end, Kyle has to sort of stand out front and take the bullet because that's why he gets paid more and that's what he's asked to do. But I'm also with you that inside the walls, that's Steve's call. It's Steve's call and it's Steve's responsibility to have the right call at that time. Like even the way he said it, it's like, yes, you do have the ability to come in, throw the red hanky on yourself.
Right.
Stop. This is not what we want. But that doesn't mean that it's not actually on Steve to make the call. And Steve made the call, and it was a bad call. So there's plenty to share here.
But Kyle let the call exist. Kyle heard the call, obviously, and he let the call go.
But Steve put the call in.
He did.
This goes to everybody. It goes to everybody.
If you and I were to book a guest right now for prime time on a football Friday, and let's just say we wanted to do and I don't want to disparage any local team or any other sport, but let's just say it's a 3rd or 4th tier level sport and a 3rd or 4th tier level guest, and we want to book it at 4:45, and we tease it and we promote it, and we're going to go live with whatever guest we think that we want to go with. It's up to our producer, Lucas, and his boss, look. If they hear that we're going to do something and they don't put a stop to it, it's as much on them as it is on us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty to go around here.
Right.
You can liken it to anything. You can liken it to parenting. Let's say you got really little kids, okay?
I think I know somebody who does.
Okay, so now she's not moving around like in
You think?
No, she's moving around, but you know what I mean? She's not like running laps in the street. But if you went to the restroom and you came back and she was on top of the refrigerator, like, yes, that's on you. Maybe it's a bad example because she's 1. But let's say she was 5. And,
she's getting into stuff now,
okay,
Coach.
But she's playing, but she doesn't know yet. But let's say you're old enough. How about my 9-year-old?
Okay.
And I get home from work today and he's playing with matches. Well, yeah, this is on me to put a stop to it. It is also on him to not play with matches.
Yeah, he's old enough to know better.
He's 9 and he's old enough to know better. So, yes, I've got the final say because I'm in charge. Doesn't mean that the people living with me can't screw up. And that, to me, is the case here. Steve screwed up, but Kyle's in charge. So somebody underneath him screwed up, and he's in charge of that person.
But the only difference, and I love your analogy, I'm going to give it a solid 3. I want to give it a 4, but
Come on!
You aren't home when this happens, and Kyle was home. So if you're in the living room and you hear in his bedroom, and he's trying to, like, strike a match, and he's trying to light a fire, and you hear it, and you're like, well, let's see how this goes. That's what Kyle did. Kyle saw that there was a potential blaze, and he said, well, I'm just going to wait and see if this turns into a fire and stuff.
I have done that. Not with the matches.
Damn.
I mean, just last
Party
week.
at Mark's.
Dude, it's midnight. I'm tired, and I'm in bed, and I hear the dog, Penny, is at the door of one of my kids. She likes sleeping in my daughter's bed, but my daughter was asleep. Scratch, 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 scratch. And I go out there and I look at her and I'm like, get your butt over here in your bed. So she gets over there in her bed, and then I lay back down, scratch, 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 scratch. Like 2 seconds later, and I'm like, this freaking dog. And what do you think I did?
You rolled over.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm tired, and I'm sure Ella's going to let her in, or she'll stop, or whatever. And then I wake up the next morning, and there's paint chips all over the ground because this dog never went in and sat there. Scratch, 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 scratch,
It's a
scratch.
4 for your penny.
Yeah, for who knows, for an hour. She's probably trying to scratch, 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 scratch. And so.
And you're dealing with first, last, and a deposit.
So I blew it off, even though I'm in charge, and someone who should know better
Yeah.
went out there and made a bad call. But I let her. I blew it off.
So in the morning press conference, you threw Ella, your daughter, under the
I
bus.
threw them all under the bus. I'm like, this dog has got to go. And we're in touch with rescue clinics right now.
And stuff.
No, yeah, I'm like, sorry, Ella. Like, I heard her scratching.
Yeah.
And I didn't come get her, and so now your door's got a bunch of scratch marks on it.
Yeah, that's actually a great analogy.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, raising your game a little bit.
My bad. And I did not punish the dog either. I fed her breakfast.
No good.
And we moved on.
It's not her fault, and it would be like punishing Charvarius Ward. I'm not saying that he is akin to your dog Penny, but you don't blame Charvarius Ward for getting beat.
For missing the interception.
For basically scratching the paint off the door and missing the interception because, you know what? Penny was doing her level best to do what she's supposed to be doing.
You are correct. And I just got a huge chuckle out of Chris A. on YouTube saying I should have opened up my door and pointed right at Penny and said, that's going to be a no from me, dog.
That's a no for me, dog.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah.
Don't think it would have worked, but it's what I should have tried.
Right. You couldn't just open the door and had her hop in with your daughter?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't want to wake my daughter.
True.
Yeah, I didn't know if she wanted that.
Yeah.
I think she wanted that, but anyway. Yeah.
And Penny would just hop up and nuzzle in.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. She's been sleeping in there a lot lately. So,
good.
Yeah, now it's fine. But it didn't work that night.
Yeah.
So it was bad parenting.
And, well, much like the Niners, you're on to Cincinnati.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I look forward to Cincinnati.
It's a hell of a game.
Yeah.
We're on to Cincinnati.